Virgo new moon eclipse on September 21st. Let's talk about it. Virgo is the mutable earth temple of Mercury and thus is very concerned with understanding, using its brain to understand the finer details of things, why and how they work, to make them more efficient. It likes to take a holistic perspective, holistic stance, and look at all the tiny details that make up the big picture so we can refine it and make it better. And that can be really great in a lot of ways. There's a lot of Virgo that is really organized and very structured. But the thing is that constant striving to make things better and to make things more efficient and to make them perfect causes anxiety. That criticism and finding faults and flaws and finding the little hairline cracks and fractures in something and then picking it apart, deconstructing it into oblivion. Deconstruction for the sake of philosophical inquiry and understanding how it works is one thing, but just deconstructing it into oblivion is another thing altogether. It's not really, in my opinion, there's not really a benefit in that. And that causes anxiety. The constant I have to make sure that this thing is right. I have to make sure that I get it right. I have to make sure that it is good enough, and I have to make sure that I am good enough. I think that's really what we're saying when we're, in our unskillful expression of Virgo. We're trying to make everything go exactly as planned. And that really, instead of, with our constant picking things apart, we pick ourselves apart. With our constant deconstruction of everything for the sake of finding that perfect thing, that perfect result, we deconstruct ourselves until there's nothing left. And in my time that I have been alive, I've never really found anything that is objectively perfect. Notice I said objectively. Subjectively, I think a lot of things and a lot of people are great and amazing and beautiful and perfect. And also, there's just not what is the standard of perfection? What is the standard of being 100%, perfect? Like extra virgin olive oil. That standard of purity. There's no imperfections in there. No blemishes. No sins. That desire to have this pure product at the end. I don't know if I've never seen that before. I've never found that to be able to exist. Because the process of perfection is just that. It's a process. It's not a destination. We take a rough product and then make it into a more refined product. But take wine, for example. Wine didn't start off as wine. The grapes have to be grown in a very specific manner. They have to be crushed. They have to be fermented and or bottled and stored and aged. I don't know if in that specific order, but I don't know. I don't make wine. And yes, there are some delicious wines And that can go with everything. That can be everything. Like, bread doesn't start off as bread. The wheat has to be grown, has to be molded down into flour, and the flour has to be mixed and with other ingredients, and then put in the oven, and then the yeast rising and all that stuff, man. I don't make bread. My bread makers, help me out. My point is, there's a bunch of steps that we have to go through to find to do the thing. And even then, even if we try to get all the steps correctly, we might not even do it right. And I can guarantee there are some things that we're not going to do right. And when that inevitably comes, when we realize that we didn't do something right, that can be really hard. And we can feel like a part of us dies. Because by us not doing something good enough, that could mean that we're not good enough. That's really hard, And so that part of us dies, and it's an initiation, I think. Some kind of innocence is taken from us, and we are put in front of the door of the underworld and asked to enter it. That's the precipice of that Virgo is before entering the darkest part of the year, which is autumn, starting with the autumnal equinox, Libra. And so I think those initiations are necessary, because deconstruction is one thing, but deconstruction of ourselves for philosophical inquiry, to know, to understand, is part of the gig. There's never anything that's going to be truly perfect that I know of. If you know of something, then tell me. But it's a process. We're always learning. There's never going to be a time that we can fully know every single thing that there is to know. We're never going to be done learning. Life is a school. We're going to keep learning and keep improving and keep aging and refining. That's what it's about. This moon is co-present Venus. Venus is in fall in Virgo, so it's not really comfortable there. We will be seeing these themes, I think, in our relationships, in our one-to-one relating, in our contracts, in how we perceive beauty in the world, in our harmonies, how we harmonize, how we unify, how we reconcile. And we want to be careful to not turn love, which is what Venus represents, into something robotic and sterile, because that's not what it is. Virgo can have a habit of doing that to things. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure it breathes. We want to let it breathe. We want to let it live. This is also opposite Saturn. And so I think also because of the fact that this is going to be conjunct the South Node, this new moon eclipse, South Node is about letting things go and about things dissolving. That's gonna be the MO, I think. And Saturn is gonna have us face our fears with that. Have us face our fears about not getting it right and the ultimate dissolution of what that looks like. Which is gonna be, difficult and scary, but it is so we can step through a threshold and build a more firm foundation so we can pick ourselves up and try again. And that's what we have the Ten of Pentacles here. That's the decan that this is taking place in. This is what that corresponds to. So it's about our legacies that we're leaving behind. What kind of legacies are we leaving behind? Are we making sure that, are we trying to drill everyone down and be like, you have to get this right and you have to get this perfect or else my legacy means nothing? Or can our legacy just be who we are and what we love and how we love and what we experience? And there's lots of other things that could be said. But I hope that we have faith in ourselves. We get up and try again. Happy Virgo new moon eclipse.